Hello, good morning or evening or Ohio gozaimasu, depending on where you are and when you are when you watch this. This is Shari with another YouTube video of my Strictly Opinion channel. Don't forget that, of just my opinion. And I can't sleep anyway because of this new schedule I'm on. And even though I don't have to be up today, I'm up and I'm hating it. Hating it. So I figured I'd come on out onto the world stage and give you another $1.50 of what's rolling around in my brain. I've been watching these newscasts of I really believe I'm watching the real live version of that movie with Richard Dawson and Arnold and God, who else were the other? Jesse Ventura. If you're a movie buff, you're picking up what I'm throwing down. I feel like we're watching on television a real life version of that movie with people glued to their television, watching a public official spin the wheel like they're Chuck Woolery and convincing us that we're getting this awesome thing for being plugged in, as it were. And it's really ridiculous. It's hilarious in the sense that we have, what people are getting back, it's just like this giant tax refund for joining in, as it were. And this is like, okay, here's your tax refund. Well, that was my money anyway. Well, we're going to spin the wheel and this number gets this, who's it? And here you go. And people are walking away thinking, yeah, I've really come out ahead. And it's like, no, you haven't. Now you just have taxes. What's happening is now they're not giving away prizes. They're giving away taxes. It's like, here's what we're going to say we give you. But in reality, it's a future tax bill. So not a big motivator for me to participate. It's like those ads that say, get this item for free and pay $4.95 in shipping. Then it wasn't free. It was not free, was it? Because you still had to pay the $4.95. It's when you, not you specifically, but you as an entity or an agency, take from people to the point where they don't even have access to their basic necessities. When you give them a trickle back, when you take from them a deluge and you trickle back to them, it feels like to the person doing without that they are receiving in return a deluge. And I've experienced this before many times in my life. Again, I know I use a lot of examples from my childhood because childhood is just this cornucopia of examples of what's happening in real life right now. I mean, it is not reality TV. It is actual reality of what's happening. Jump right into the example. My dad was a bit of a tyrant. I don't know if it had to do with the chemical enhancements that he participated in. I will say he had this, and it wasn't even traditional male values because he was raised by women. He was raised by a single mother who had to travel the country, and he got dropped off on the doorsteps of relatives his entire life who were women. And who knows, maybe there's a correlation there. Maybe there's another YouTube video on that. So he didn't really, it doesn't jive with me for the people who say, well, your father was born in a time of the patriarchy. Ooh. No. He just didn't have a strong role model to show him how to be an actual man. So most of his life, he missed out on doing things that were responsible and just went with the hustle and flow. My dad he was basically, I guess, a tyrant or tyrannical in a sense, where anything that came into the household, he even said this out loud. He made sure it was drilled in to the family at my earliest recollection of anything that came into the household belonged to him. And he would parcel it out as he saw fit. And reminds you of anything else in the real world? Parcel it out as he saw fit, as he saw you as being worthy of having it. And you were to be grateful. And it was like luxury items like deodorant or toothpaste or underwear or being able to bite into a hamburger after he had licked off all the condiments from the bun. Swell guy. Of course, he finally grew up at the age of 42 and then completely different person. But I'm talking about my younger years, my formidable years, so this is what a butthole looks like. And because this is not my own channel or not my own platform, I can't really say, I'm self-editing here. When somebody takes and takes and takes from you all the basic necessities, your food, your water, your shelter, your money, your identity, or not takes your identity from you, but assigns you one, that any release from those terms, from those circumstances, seems like a luxury when they're not. It's not a luxury. It's cruel. It's cruel to make people believe that pittance, the pocket change that you throw up in the air that lands in the dirty gutter, and you watch people rush towards the pocket change as the water in the gutter rushes towards the drain, and you find yourself diving and tucking and rolling to grasp at it. You lose your dignity, you lose your respect for yourself, and you inevitably feel this wave of benevolence towards the person being cruel to you, the person who has restricted you in so many ways by saying, but this is normally when I'm waking up, restricting you in so many ways by, well, I know how to manage those necessities better than you, while they are living off the fat. They are drinking the cream from those necessities. And then where it's like, well, I'm full, there's a little bit left at the bottom of the glass, here you go. And you're like, feeling like you got the cash cow, and you really didn't. And I'm watching again, oh my God, so annoying. I'm watching on the box on how we're all getting information, not even information, we're getting the lights and sound from these screens that tell us, look at the benevolence, look at how generous our leaders are, Look how the people who continue to take and take and take, look, they have extra to give us. No, 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 no. We have been withheld. We have been separated from our extra. And what we're getting back, again, is not an incentive to do something. All we're being handed is a tax bill. And people fall for it. Personally, I'd rather get a tax bill in the form of, oh, I won the jackpot, of, like a multi-state draw. I would be down with paying that tax bill. Because if you get 100% of winnings, and inevitably 60% of that is going to either your state government or your federal government, you still gotta take, you still have most of the sandwich left. And it's still almost a meal. A lot better than being handed almost a meal, and then they're going to take the 60%. You'd be lucky if you get the crust off that sandwich. Maybe a little bit of mayo that's squirted out, dribbled down the side. Other than that, it's, I just cannot believe people have, no, I can't believe when, again, my own argument is when you take and you take and you take something from somebody, and the person taking it says, I'll just hold it for you. I'll hold it in reserve. And when the time is right, when I make that decision, then I'll hand you a toothbrush. Sure, I've used it and I don't need it anymore, but don't you need a toothbrush? Or stick a deodorant. Or, you have somebody telling you, well, you don't really need deodorant. I'm like, no, seriously, my classmates say that I need deodorant. Well, you have elongated sweat glands. You're not a doctor. It's like, I'm not a mushroom, okay? People have to stop being mushrooms in life. Or you have somebody say, I'll feed you when I get around to it. But don't eat any of the food. You have there's this plethora of food in the coffers and the cupboards in the refrigerator, but don't eat it because I counted it before I left. Whether they did or not is not the point. It's the idea that there it is, but you're not allowed to touch. You can look. Don't dare think about raising a finger, getting a finger toward it. That is also cruel. And again, we're so conditioned to look away from our empty cupboards and just ogle mansions and gated communities and say, hey, they're going to give us some. They're going to give us some. Instead of saying in the beginning, is you're taking too much. You're taking too much, and I'm getting back in return not only so little, I'm not getting back what I've invested into your authority, but it's also taken a long time to get any kind of return on it. Example would be, I'm going to make dinner, and you get home from school that night and there's no dinner. And then the person in charge says, well, I didn't say tonight. I just said I was going to make dinner. I didn't say which evening it was going to happen. Again, so you find yourself foraging for food like a carpetbagger in your own home. Okay? People who are woke are not awake, and people who are awake are being forced to be woke. It's kind of like we're all headed towards the same meat processing plant in that one song with the children on the machinery that rolls like in a meat processing plant. the kids standing on that belt, on the conveyor belt, and they're dropping down into the vat, and out comes the ground meat. Think about that. I'll leave you with that one, with that imagery. Very powerful imagery. Continues to be relevant. And I try to make my opinion relevant, or at least I'm not worried about standing the test of time. Just it's relevant now. And if you are one of my many subscribers, I appreciate it. If you would like to become a subscriber, you know how it's done. I appreciate the people who smash the like button for these videos, and I appreciate the people who continue to share them. And I also appreciate the people who support me on Cash App. If you are unable to locate my Cash App information, it should be on my channel. And if you have found my podcast, the Cash App information is there. If it's not visible, contact me at just.my.opinion.podcast2020@gmail.com, and I will send you the information. It's up to you. Do appreciate our time together. I will see you again when I have another hair across my hat. Be in good spirits. Be of good faith. And you know what? Worry about today, because tomorrow is only promised and yesterday is gone. And you know the rest. Have a good day.